that. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited. I was like, when I first started doing it, I was like, man, like you're like my number one person that I like wanted to have on, you know. But I'm glad that like whenever we first talked about it and you're like couldn't do it, I was like, oh, thank God, because like at that time like my videos were so bad, like they were just so like, I don't know. You'll see like from the first ones that I had to the ones I have now, like they're just a lot better. But like it was just bad. It was just bad. Like like I don't know. Like
it's always a process. It's always a process.
Yeah, 100%. And like I was, you know, you hear all these people like want to do it, and I'm like, okay, let's do it, whatnot. And it's just like the thing about it is like I was saying, is like it's just so like delicate. Like I'll always like run into some type of issue, like a lens is not focusing or just something like that. But like, and this is just like a small little like production.
Yeah.
So like I can only imagine what it was like you know, like what was it like working there, like whenever you were working.
Well, whenever I did you know, do TV shots or you know, even radio, it's a lot sparse than you expect it to be, right?
Okay.
Because it's just a set and it's a desk, and you know, there's cameras everywhere, but you know, you expect it to be all elaborate. It's not. It's just very bare bones. You know, most of the studios I've gone to that are not on station, you know, it's just like I mean, for a while there when I was doing TV interviews here in Houston, they were downtown by the police academy over there, and then they moved because they got lost their lease, and they were shooting videos out of trailers. There was 3 mobile homes, and that's what you walked into. You did interviews in a trailer. It was just bizarre, but
that's so crazy because like I don't know, just from my way of thinking, like, dude, like those guys got it all. They got a whole crazy setup and everything.
Yeah,
like
I know.
that. But it's like everything's not really what it seems, and I guess like that's what I'm kind of like learning too. Like as I'm going, like being in, you know, like workplaces, stuff like that, like professional settings, others, like, you know, like you only like we're only like fantasizing stuff, and then it won't like you don't understand it until you get there. Like,
right.
Like I don't know, like whenever I just take a trip to Big Bend over there in like South Texas, like Southwest Texas.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about all this kind of stuff. What is it gonna be like? What's gonna happen there? And it was like nothing compared to like what it really was.
Right.
And it's just crazy. Like I don't know. Like even this right now. Like I'm in the shower. Like, you know, kind of practicing, rehearsing. Like, okay, what am I gonna say? What, like how do I, like, you know, like warming up a little bit.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And even then, it's like right now, it's like I don't, like, this is not happening. It's like very unreal. It's like surreal to me, but it's like nothing, you know.
Yes.
Like I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
You know, it takes a lot of getting used to. I mean, I think that when I first started doing TV back in 2002, I think it was, and you know, it's you focus on the cameras, or you know, or you focus on the mic. You know, the thing you need to learn is that you have to speak in short sentences, and you really can't or anything like that.
Oh my God, I say like tough. So much.
Oh, yeah, it's
I
tough.
like. Oh my God, it's so bad.
Oh.
That's like the number one word in my vocabulary. It's so bad.
Well, you know, come from Chicago, come from the Midwest. Even when Obama was elected, he would and all the time. It's just a very Midwest thing, and you have to train yourself not to do that. Then also, you know, you don't want to speak with any kind of accent or what have you. I think you know, I get lazy and it comes out of me. I'm like Chicago, and people are like, what? I'm like, oh, never mind. But it's a learning process. You know, you just hit or miss. And I can't tell you how many times I've done TV interviews. I've never seen them. I just don't watch. I don't want to watch. I don't want to know.
That's what I do here.
Yeah.
Like, the only time I watch it is like when I edit it. But after that, I do not look at them because I'm just like, like I was like, that's me. Like, like the way I sound, the things that I say, like I can get pretty vulgar, and it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that, you know. And I just it's just that weird embarrassment, you know. But at the same time, it's like it's kind of cool because I'll see people and they're actually kind of liking it, and like people text me and they're like, hey man, this is actually pretty dope. Like it's pretty cool. Like you're you know, getting into it. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun, but it definitely is like something super new, you know.
Right.
And like I said, like, you know, as you were walking in, I was just like, I get so nervous because, you know, it's like you don't really have a, you know, like when you and I talk, it's just us talking. There's nobody watching us, you know.
Right.
But like in these kind of settings, it's like not only are people watching us, like, you know, he's watching us because he's doing the camera work, but it's like at the same time, like you got all those other people that are watching you, and it's like, I don't know that I don't know how to like comprehend that.
Yes.
That with like millions of people watching you, hundreds of people watching you, like one of my videos has like 400 views on it, and it's just like dang, like it's not a lot, but it's like wow, like
it's not like 400. That's a lot.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's really crazy, and like I don't know, what was it like for you, like knowing what were you thinking when you're just like, all right, ready, go, lights, camera, action, like
I think the point is you want to focus. You just want to focus. What are they asking? What are they talking about? And and that's the funny part too, is that anytime you do a TV interview, especially in my career, and I've talked about oil and gas, the producer will send me and say, hey, can you send us some bullet points about what's going on in the markets, or can you answer some questions we have, and then you send it back to them. So when you go to the studio, the anchor is just basically repeating everything that you said. So like, I think oil prices are going up. Then they're like, so, Carl, do you think oil prices are going up? And it's like, okay, I know the answer to this. It's fine. But every once in a while, you get caught up. I mean, sometimes, they'll ask a question and, like you said, you're being watched by hundreds or thousands of people, or, whatever it may be. And you don't want to mess up. You want to just say something, coherent and just, say it right, not say it wrong. And it's just, it gets a little bit of pressure sometimes, but you get used to it.
And like, how did you would you like have to warm up? Like, what did you have to do like to like, all right, like, we're getting in the zone. Like, what, like how would you get in the zone? Like,
I mean, I just, I think you got to concentrate and just let it come naturally. So in my career, I've done this. I've talked about oil and gas, and been on TV and in studios and everything from ABC to CNBC to Dan Rather to whatever it may be. But it's just a matter of relaxing, because the funny part that you have to realize is that just like here with you and I, like, I don't know what you know. You don't know what I know. And so when you're having me on as a guest, you ask me questions, I tell you, but I don't necessarily know if you know. And you have to keep that mindset when you talk to a camera, especially when it's like on TV or what have you. The people who are watching you don't really know what you're going to talk about or why you're talking about it. And so you want to sound authoritative. You want to sound, confident. You want to just say, hey, this is it. So when you ask me, how do I prepare? It's just a matter of like deep breath, be confident, and say what is, what I think.
Right.
Don't make it up. People will catch you on that. Just say what you want to say. Earlier you said, sometimes I sound vulgar, sometimes I say like, but you have to keep that. You have to keep that real, because people can tell when you're being scripted. And
oh my God, yeah. And I watch other podcasts, like, because I like getting my inspiration from other people and stuff like that. And like these guys are just like reading things, It's like, and it's a podcast supposed to be a podcast. We're just talking, you know.
Yes.
But like these guys, like, I don't know. It's always like there's some people like trying to teach you something, or it's like like a way of life, or trying to spread some message and whatnot. And it's like, I dig that 100%, and like, people that talk to like those like famous celebrities, it's cool, it's awesome, it's dope. But like me, like that's not like my thing. Like I just don't enjoy that, and it's kind of weird to me. Like I couldn't be forced, like I couldn't sit here and have like a list of like questions ready here to ask you. It's just that's not how I work, and I think when I watch stuff like that, I'm just tuned out. I'm done. Like I don't. It's boring to me.
Yes.
And I'm noticing it now too. Like I want, like at one point I was just like dropping video, and I'm here just talking about the same thing over and over again, but like through different people, know. And then they come with their ideas, they come with their opinions, and all kinds of stuff. So it flows, it works. But like I notice that it's just like sometimes I just can't keep it going. Like my motivation, like, it just up and down, and I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, and it's just, not only that, like I get discouraged because like the way the video comes out, I'm like, oh, that was bad, really bad quality, or, I don't know, it's just something weird to juggle with. And I don't know, I like, to me, my first time doing it, I mean, I was like, I wasn't really into it, because at first it was just like jokes, like, oh, we're playing around, hanging around, like just doing stupid stuff. But now that I'm taking it more seriously, it's like I'm putting more like weight on me. You get what I'm saying? And so like I don't know how to deal with that. Like I don't know how to deal with, like, I feel like I'm climbing a ladder, But as I'm climbing that ladder, it's like I also have to there's like a price to pay too, even though you can do it. And like I say this thing where like dumb people they're happy, they're chilling, they're calm, they have nothing to worry about because they're not elevating themselves. And I feel like that since I'm doing that, it's like curveball, left punch here. It's like you get knocked down over here. This doesn't go right over here, and it's like why? Like why?
Yes.
Like I'm trying to do something, and I don't know how to deal with that. I really don't know. Like I don't know what that is, and like how could you, like what is that for you whenever like you first started doing stuff like this? Like
it's and you're doing the right thing. You just keep doing it and doing it, doing it. Mm. What happens is you build confidence. So even if I screw something up or I say something wrong, you just make a joke out of it, or you just pass it off. Because at the end of the day, so every company I've ever gone to, there's been like really smart analysts, like people who actually do this for a living, research and analytics. And they always say, why is Carl on TV? Or why is Carl on the radio show? Why is Carl in print? And what you have to understand is that I'm not as smart as those guys are. They're way above beyond my means, just like you're saying, right? But what I do and what you do here, we're entertainers. That's what people want to watch. They want to be entertained. Like you said, I don't want to be on a show or see a show that's scripted. I mean, that's just it. But, what we do is entertainment, and so people want to watch and be entertained. So whether it's a podcast or a TV interview or a TV show, an actor, you're entertaining, and that's what you have to do. But to be a good entertainer, like anything in life, you have to have confidence and know what you're doing and how you're doing it. And that's where you go with that.
So just like, I don't know, just grab it by the balls and just go. Like it's just.
But every time you do it, it's going to be easier and easier and easier. And then once it gets past that point of easy, it becomes more of like, I got this.
Like second nature.
I got this. Yeah. You're coming in. You're gonna have to come up to my level, right? You're gonna say, okay, you come up to my level. Yeah. When I got to her, you go, I'm nervous. I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. This is your show,
right?
So I don't want to screw it up. I'm just like, I'll do whatever you need me to do, or say whatever you say, or talk about whatever. But it's your show. And that's the way it gets as you do more and more. Yeah. You have people come in and you're like, well, this is my show, right? And they've got to
And it's the thing about that though. It's like I can do that. Like I can do it. Like I become sometimes I become like a monster. Like I'm a little bit rude sometimes. I'm like, hey, you need to do this, that. And I kind of have to like suppress that monster a little bit, because like that guy can come out easily. Like he has the keys to that door at all times.
Yeah.
But it's a little hard because like for you it's different. Like you understand that life, that world, But I sometimes have friends that come on here and they're just a little shy. Then the first time they see cameras, all these lights and all this kind of stuff, and then it's a little intimidating to them. So like how do I stay like, hey, I'm the boss of this thing, but at the same time like it's okay, come on in. Like I don't know how do you flow with that, because I don't want to make somebody feel like, oh damn, like I'm stupid because I didn't say what I was supposed to say, or like I was too scared, like because I feel like sometimes I also give off the energy just in public,
right?
Just like I'm just very like all energy, ready to go all the time,
Yeah.
And I don't know how to suppress that to the max, like to where like I guess find that median, and I don't know how to find it.
Well, I mean, like I said, it comes with experience. But there's a movie it's back in the 80s or 90s called House of Games, and it's about a con man and how they run all these cons and all these elaborate schemes and make all this money. But the guy in the movie says something that stuck with me forever. He's like, I'm a con man. And he's telling this other woman, she's a psychiatrist, do you know what that means? She's like, yes, you con people out of things. He says, no, I'm a confidence man, but I don't take your confidence. I give you my confidence. And so when you're doing something like this, what you're doing is that you might want to have those emotions, what have you, but what you want to do is exude your confidence to your guests, right? And say, hey, it's going to be okay. You're going to breathe, get through this, and you're going to do okay. Because once you're on that level, then the people sitting in this seat are like, okay, yeah, let's do this. I'm good. I'm happy. Yeah. But they see you do it, right? You're the leader, and I just follow you. It's like a dance, You're leading, I'm following. That's all there is to it. No matter who you're dancing with. Yeah. You're the leader, so that's how it works.
Gotcha.
It's good.
Gotcha. So, like, when did you start getting into this? Like, what was the beginning like for you? Like, was it like out of high school? Was it just how did you?
So I was working at a bank, and literally, I mean, I've never done this before. A woman I was with for a while, she was an actress, and she taught me a lot about how she get on camera. She's like, you just talk to the camera, or even like in the podcast, I'm talking to you. Where most people come in, they're looking at the cameras, and they're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Where do I look? And she taught me that when you're on camera, you look at the camera and you treat the camera like another person. So if I were doing a TV interview and you were the camera, I'd be talking to you just like this, and just even like making gestures, thinking that you could actually see me, but you can't. So I started in banking back in 2002, and you were talking about being nervous. And the first time ever, I got a call, and they're like, hey, can you do a TV interview on CNBC? And I was like, I guess, yes. What am I going to say, no? I'm like, yeah. And I remember just like, okay, just look at the camera, be calm, talk about what you know, listen in your ear for what they're saying, and just go. But oh my gosh, I was so nervous. I was like, I didn't know. I've got a little earpiece in my ear. I've never had anything like that. And you're like, oh God, I hope I can hear everything they say. I hope I don't say anything stupid. But you got to be calm. You got to just go slowly and just breathe through it. It's really just a matter of experience. The more you get out and doing it, right? So every time, like during COVID, I did a few interviews here or there. But I did a few recently, and I was kind of nervous again. I was like, oh my God, it's been like years. I'm like, I think I remember how to do this. I do, right? And it's the little things, and you want to make sure you still have them.
Yeah, and how did you what was your how was your mind changing as you were going through that first time? What was what was it like when you're like, okay, that realization that like, oh, I'm cool, or was it like, oh, let's do it again? Like, how did that feel? What were you thinking as you were like saying whatever gibberish you were saying to people? But like, what were you actually thinking though?
I was just thinking like, be calm, get through this, be calm. So the first time I did it, I was at a bank, and the camera was on like a platform of stairs. So in a stairway in the middle of the trading floor, like 300, 400 people on the floor. And I'm standing on this thing by myself, staring at a camera. And all these people are around me, like just, some were looking up, some were working.
Right.
And it's like, you just like ignore them, talk to the camera like a person and just be calm. Be calm. But that's what I was thinking. Just be calm. But as I did more and more and more and it built the confidence, I started feeling good about it. Like, I got this, and I want to do more. I want to keep doing more. Who do you want to, who's going to call me next?
Oh my God, because it gives me a rush. Like, I'm like, oh, like, let's go. Like, I just did that, and let's do it again.
Right.
Let's do it again. But at the like, I tell my friends, like, every time I do one of these though, like, as soon as we're done, like, I am drained. I am exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
And it's weird because like it's just like I'm not lifting weights, I'm not carrying heavy boxes, nothing like that. But it's like your mind, like like we're putting our brains in a melting pot and it's like cooking it up, whatever it is, And like I don't know, it's just to me, it's kind of like a weird roller coaster almost. And you come right back down and whatnot. But like I even have to, like, when I like get ready to start like editing the videos, like I have to wait like at least like an hour or so, or maybe like 2 hours, because like I don't want to relive what I just lived, again, And I don't know, I was just ranting off and stuff like that. But I don't know, like how did you get into like, I mean, whenever I Google you, like you come up. Like, and that's just the craziest thing to me.
It's crazy.
It's what is that like? What is that like?
It's weird. It was very weird. At first, I was happy I was doing it when I was talking about oil and gas, and I felt like I'm getting respect finally for something I've always done. I've always wrote, I've written research and what have you, but now I was getting recognized. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I felt really proud of that. But the more I did, the years go on, and then like you Google and you're like, oh my gosh, there's like videos and like, news clips and stuff. It's weird. It gets really weird, Yeah. But like we were saying that, I don't go back and look at it. I can't tell you like articles are here or there. I think when I first started, there was little milestones like CNBC, and then I did Dan Rather, and then I did like CNN, and then the newspapers. I was like, then there was the Journal, then there was the New York Times, then there was like these little stories that I pop up in, and it was just those little wins, and I was like, oh, this is so good, it's so good, it's so good. But now it's just like it's kind of, I don't think about it, I just go out and do what I need to do. It's fun, but it's doing something that I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm talking about, and that makes all the difference.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And like, I don't know, like that's just so wild to me. And like I said, like, you know, there's only like what I have this is a tiny little podcast, you know, but like it's just that many eyes, that many people just like seeing you. And like, I mean, sometimes I'll see people like posting, like I saw some dude, he had posted like they were watching his episode like in their shop, and it was on a TV.
Right.
And I was just like, that's so crazy to me. Like, it's just so wild, you know? And it's like the smallest form, but like I tell my friends, because they're like, oh bro, like what if you go big? Like what if this takes off and everything like that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that'd be cool. But like I don't know how I would deal with that. Like I don't know how like that what would that do to my head in a little way? Like and I mean, well, how did?
Oh, you would be like me. You all of a sudden first do it and you think, oh wow, I'm good at this. But then you get to this point where you like realize whether you believe it or not, you're an expert. You are the person that people want to see. You are the person people want to sit down and talk to, and that's really cool. I mean, it's fun, you know, because even in my industry, there's a lot of oil and gas people out there, but not all of them want to talk to me. You know, it's just it's fine. But on the TV, those people who don't really know anything about it, they want to talk to me because they know I'm not going to make them look stupid. I'm going to be entertaining and help them get more views, and I know what my job is there.
Right.
And like I said, the more you do, the better you get, the more people watch. You become the person that is the expert, and people want to be on your show. Rather than you asking for people to come on your show, people are asking you to come on your show.
Yeah, and that started happening.
Yeah.
It started, like, people were like, yeah, I want to hop on, let's get on, you know, let's do it. And, of course, like, I have to ask every now and then, too. It feels a little weird to ask people to hop on the show.
Yeah.
But it is so cool when somebody's like, oh, dude, let's do it. Like, I want to get on. Like, I'll get on anytime, you know. And I think, like, you know, at first, like, I started thinking it was, okay, this is for me. I'm going to do it for me because I dig it. I love doing this. It's fun. I love talking to people and stuff like that. But, like, now, like, when I make these thumbnails for them, like, I always make a thumbnail that's, like, they're, like, happy or they're smiling or, like, they're, like, in mid-laughing, like, pose, you know?
Right.
And it's so cool because, like, everybody gets their own video.
Yeah.
So I have friends that, like, I have a friend that he just went to college, but he's always texting me and telling me about, like, yeah, I'm like, I keep looking back at my old video, I keep watching it, and it's like, it's cool because, like, everybody's getting this little documentary of themselves that they'll be able to watch later on in life.
Yes.
You know, and it's kind of cool because, like, in all honesty, like, I don't have my name on it, like when I first started, I wasn't even putting it on, like, social media because I was just like, I don't want any of that stuff, like, deal with that. But, like, more and more, my friends were like, nah, dude, like, you should make an account for it. You should put it on, like, you should get it out more, you know? And I was like, I don't know. But even now, I still feel a little weird about it, like, posting it. And it's like, okay, come check out this new episode, you know? It's a little strange for me still.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But like I said, like, it's changing. Like, it's not about me anymore. Like, it's about, like, I love seeing these dudes, like, freak out. Like, dude, like, I got my own video. Like, I'm on a podcast. Everybody, I got friends that are like, bro, I've never been on a podcast. I always wanted to be on a podcast before, you know?
Right.
And, like, that's just, like, that means so much. That means, like, so much more than, like, the views, the people are watching it. It's just, like, seeing them, like, light up. They're, like, sparkling, you know? And it's just so cool to see that. Like, it's so cool that I can even, like, give that to somebody. You know, even if it's just a small, minuscule little thing.
Right.
Like, they enjoy the shit out of it, you know?
Yes.
And I don't know. It's cool because, like I said, like, it's not the same anymore. Like, it's changing. And I feel like as I keep going on more and more, like, people, like, I don't know. For me, like, there's this thing where, like, there's a lot of, there's that mental health thing. Everybody, you know, we already acknowledged it talking about it. But, like, you know, I have a lot of friends that, you know, they're dealing with a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of people that I know, you know, they're quick to pick up a gun. You know, there's a lot of people that are just like, no, I'm not going to do this in my life. Like, you know, kind of just, like, passing up opportunities and whatnot. And, like, I kind of hate seeing that, you know, because, like, I have a lot of friends that are just brilliant, like, brilliant people. But they're not capitalizing on these, like, little opportunities that they don't think that it can get them somewhere. But, you know, it somehow in some way, those things that I've said yes to have, like, unlocked so many different doors, so many different things for me. And I don't know, I want to be able to, like, I'm not trying to help anybody because you can't save the world or anything like that. But I don't know, through this, I want to be able to like, hey, look at this dude, look at what he's doing with it, look how he did this.
Mm-hmm.
Take whatever you can from the bits and pieces that you need from him or her, and then take it, incorporate it into your life, you know.
Right.
And the only thing is that like it is mentally like, it's kind of a strain on me because like I have all this like energy like that I'm like consuming and like soaking in as a sponge, plus you know like your knowledge, your wisdom, the talks we've had, you know, the advice you've given me, and it's just like man, like I want to tell these to my goofy ass friends that like don't have someone like you, that don't have somebody like at home like, hey, this is what you should be doing with your life, this is how you get your head in the game, you know, stuff like that. And I don't know, like I just want wisdom. I just want to be like a vessel, I guess, like somebody that can like here's this, you know, that part of the chain, you know, like I'm not trying to change the world. I got a lot of friends that are like, you know, musicians. They want to be, you know, they want to change the game. They want to be something huge. Everybody wants to be like that famous like TikTokers type stuff. And like man, like I don't know. What do you see like in my generation? Like what do you see in me sometimes? Like,
well, I mean, we've talked before, and I think we just touched on this too. It's an idea about confidence. So when you talk about other people, you know what it is, you know what they're going through. Mm-hmm. The issue is that they have the ability to do it, but they don't have the confidence to do it. And so I think this generation, it's like everybody's looking for that confidence. So I'll make a TikTok video, and then I'll have, you know, all these people watching it. Now, whatever you do on TikTok, you're dancing or singing, whatever it may be, there's a lot of like, you know, things within TikTok can make it look really funny and fancy, right? But you have to have that confidence to do it. You have to go out there and put yourself out there. And that's what I was, you know, you and I have always talked about. You have to put yourself out there. But once you do, you have to stand behind it. You can't shy away and go, oh, yeah, it's just whatever it is. No, when you're starting out, you have to build that confidence. And it's those little wins, along the way. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, becomes something so much bigger. It really does.
Right. And, you know, you told me something one time. It was that little dinner party that we had, that Christmas party. Mm-hmm. And I remember we were talking, and I said the same thing to you. Like, I feel it out of place, you know, because, like, I was just this, like, Hispanic kid. I was the youngest person there, and it's like I'm there with all these like adults and all these like you know successful people and stuff like that, and like nobody there's my age, and I would just, like I said, I was feeling a little nervous, a little out of place, but you told me you were like, you know, no matter what, like you got to think that like you're the best person in this room.
That's right.
And like ever since you told me that, like, oh my God, like the things it's done for me. But at the same time, it's like fueled a little bit of an ego. Yeah. But I realized that like that thing is like, there's that thing where like, oh, get rid of your ego, get rid of that thing because it's not good. You know, you're a toxic man if you have your ego and stuff like that. But like, oh my God, like it's just insane how I can't get rid of that. Like that ego is your personality.
Right.
And being that best person, you know, it's like when I walk into a room, when I walk into the restaurant, when I walk into getting groceries, mm-hmm. when I go to a party, mm-hmm. I'm thinking that.
Yes.
I'm thinking that, but I'm not telling anybody that. But I notice that when I'm thinking that, I'm having fun. Yeah. Like people want to be around me, people want to hang around me, people talk to me, you know, like that. But whenever I wasn't, like when I didn't have that little tiny advice of just don't think of like, you know, I was just like, I'm just dude, whatever, went out like that. Like, I don't know. It was kind of weird. I was kind of a little weirdo. But now that I've like, it's like you gave me like a key, you know. And it's how do you tell that to somebody and not twist it, you know? Because I feel like you say that to somebody could twist that real quick. And even then, like the second you said that to me, I was like, isn't that like a little conceited, you know? So how do you what's the difference between conceitedness and confidence, you know?
Yeah. But we all have value. Well, we all have worth. But we have to find that thing that makes us special and makes us different. Like mm-hmm. you said, if you're out, you start talking to people want to talk to you. Now, if you go out, you don't talk to anybody, nobody's going to talk to you. Right. So when you are talking, you talk about something that you're comfortable with, that you like, that you know. Mm-hmm. And then people will go, oh, wow, you know, that's interesting. Maybe they may agree with you. Maybe they disagree with you. Maybe they don't like it or don't like it. But you put it out there. You know, you put yourself out there and good things will come. But you have to be, you know, I wouldn't say aggressive, but you have to be confident and get out there. So when I say that, you know, you are the most important person here. Of course you are. You are the most important here, and you have to remember you are. Mm-hmm. But not everybody else is going to agree with that. But you have to believe that, because once you have that, then people respect you. They're like, "Wow, mm-hmm. you're holding your own. You know, this is good."
Right.
And that's that's the way it works. I mean, the podcast here, right? You know, you're coming out here, you're doing this podcast, you're interviewing people, you're talking about things, but it's you doing it, right? It's mm-hmm. not them doing it. They're sitting on this side, you're sitting on that side. And you know, you build on it. You build, and that's the way you do it. You got to tell people it's little wins, mm-hmm. but you have to have the confidence. You have to just make that part of who you are.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it, and like, I guess to me, like, I don't know, I always have battled with that a little bit. You know, like I always had people like, oh, you're a little arrogant, or like you're a little you know, conceited and stuff like that, and like I hated that.
Yeah.
You know, I hated that because like I'm really not. I'm just like that's just something that was like taught to me as I was growing up, you mm-hmm. know? And like I like when I go out to places, like I like looking good. You know, I have to like figure out an outfit sometimes, you know, and like I mean every now and then of course I'll just hop out with some like t-shirts and like shorts and stuff like that, you know, just
right.
like around the house clothes. But I don't know, to me like I care about what people think about me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And there's that thing, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't give a fuck what people think about me, like, fuck that, whatnot, I don't give a fuck about this.
Right.
And I don't know, like, how do you tell somebody, like, hey, like, start giving a shit about how you look and how you think?
Yeah.
You know, how do you tell that to someone? How do you, like, I guess, engrave that into somebody's head that, you know, it's been going years without just, like, not thinking that? You know.
Well, I mean, you know, it's you know, in finance we always talk about, you know, a trading. When you trade, when let's say you buy a stock, let's say you buy Tesla, mm-hmm. and you buy Tesla or Bitcoin, you know, or what it may be, and it goes, let's say Bitcoin, you buy it, you know, here, and then it goes up, and you make $5,000. Now you made $5,000,
right?
But the truth is that somebody sold Bitcoin or sold Tesla, and they lost $5,000. So at the end of the day, it's a zero-sum game. So when you talk about people like that, there are going to be people that you can help, and they will listen, and they will take your advice and be confident and be happy that you said it to them. But then there's a lot of people who won't, and you can't change some people, and you mm-hmm. can change other people. Sometimes you can change people for the better, and sometimes you can't change people at all. So mm-hmm. It's just a matter of doing what you think's best, and how you want to get across to them. But every time you tell them, and they're not listening, then it's just not much more you can do.
Yeah, and I hate that, because like I said, I still have that Superman mentality. Like I want to say everybody, I want to say my friends, like, come on guys, like follow me. This is how we're gonna win, and it just sucks because like you can't really do that. But I don't know. I feel like there is a way to do things, and like even in my own way, like with my parents and stuff like that, like they're beating us some type of like idea into my head, and it wasn't until like I go through something I look at it through a different route, mm-hmm. then that's when that idea clicks. Like right. Okay, maybe I should have been doing this. Like I should be wearing deodorant. I should like right. carry a cologne with me, stuff like that. Yes. Like being just clean and whatnot. I was a dirty kid. Like I was nasty. Yeah. But it's just funny to me, like how it's not funny to me, but it's so strange to me, like how there's people that don't have that.
Right.
Right. It's like it's so peculiar, and sometimes I get into that mode. I'm like, how is this person so stupid, or how is this person's like. But I think about myself, and I'm like, oh my god, like maybe I'm the idiot, like maybe I'm, there's something wrong with me too, and like, that's what it was when you were talking about, like, being able to change somebody. You could do it, but like, I don't know, it feels weird having somebody like transcribe to your ideals,
Right.
And to me, it feels wrong.
Right.
In a way. But at the same time, like it benefits them. So it's like I don't know what that is though.
Right. Well, to that point, like you're saying, how do you change somebody? If you really want to give somebody advice or help them, make sure you're doing it out of the genuine of your heart. Right. You're not asking them to change to make you like them better. You're telling them to change to make them like themselves better. Mm-hmm. So if I say, hey, you should do this, I don't want you to do it for my sake. You need to do it for your own sake, but not until you realize not until you figure out how it helps you. Like you said, sometimes you go around in a circle, but you did go around the circle. You have to go around that circle. Sometimes I could tell you something and you're like, I don't think so. But then, you go around your circle and you're like, oh, it makes sense now. Mm-hmm. But it has to be you figuring it out and it important to you.
Yeah.
It can't be important to me. It has to be important to you.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, too, like, I think about a lot, and we talk about it, too, is, like, I know a lot of young parents, and, like, to me, like, the idea of being a young parent, like, terrifies the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So it's, like, how, like, I like that, parenting. Mm-hmm. Like that's just a whole nother thing. And I just, whenever, like, as rebellious as I was, as angry as I was at my parents, and like I dealt with anger a lot, so like it's just like I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Like that's the thing I fear the most. I'll take care of a kid, cool. I'll do all the things I gotta go buy the thing. I'll go work like 3 jobs to make ends meet. But the thing is, like, I don't want to mess up somebody's life because of like what I tell somebody. You know what I'm saying? And like I don't know if you have that fear as well, but like I don't know how I'm going to be able to like talk to a kid. Like how do you talk to kids and like get them to, hop on the boat too, and like them, dealing with their emotions, their puberty, all kinds of stuff like that. Like how do you do that?
It's like everything in life. It's trial and error. You tell them what you know and from your experience. I did this. Don't do that. I know it didn't work. But if they're adamant about it and say, I still want to do this, then okay, go ahead. I'll be here for you when you fail. But I also want to be here to help you succeed. So it's hard. I think that our generations, not just the generation now, but the prior one, the prior to that, we're different now because we learn it's okay to fail. Before our parents were like, don't fail, do what I tell you to do, and you'll succeed. And, you learn after a while that's not true. You have to fail. You have to learn how to fail. You learn how to fail, and you're going to get better. So the advice you give to kids is just like, hey, don't do this, do this, because I'm telling you, my experience, this is the way it's going to work. And if they say, I don't want to do it that way, I want to do it this way. All right, have fun. When it fails, come back to me and we'll talk about it and figure out how to get back on the right track.
So you kind of just got to let them, like, let them. Oh, my God. That's just so scary because, like, I don't know. I think about my stupid experiences. But, like, after that, though, like, I became a whole different person. Right. It changes, like, my mental. It changes my emotional. Like, things that were once hard and really, like, terrifying to me, they're not, you know. And that's the one thing I was going to ask you is, like, when you're on, you're live and, you're on air and stuff like that, and it's like, do you ever, like, choke? Do you ever, like, just, like, completely bomb? Like, have you ever just, like, bombed, like, just, like, and completely embarrassed yourself?
I don't think I've completely embarrassed myself, but I catch myself when I'm, I talk too fast sometimes. Right. I'll look at the camera or look away from the camera and not at the camera. It's those little things, but they bug you, right? There's those little things that you're saying. If you something technically is going wrong, you're like,
yes,
and you stress about it. But in the end, it's not going to happen again, and you'll get past it. But I still do have those issues sometimes, and it's hard. It's hard to be yourself and yet be in the moment, especially when you're doing anything like this in entertainment, right? You want to be open and free and just, I want to say whatever I want to say or do whatever I do, but you can't. You really have to understand that people are watching and they want to see something good. They don't want to see somebody just rambling on and on, right? They want to see a purpose to it. So it's tough.
I get you 100%. And like when I think about you, like I think like success. Like I think like this is like, he's like the pinnacle of success. Like this is the guy, But in reality, in your own way, you're like, it's probably not like that. Same thing I talked to a lot of friends like, bro, I thought you were doing good and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. But like, well, first of all, like, what are your thoughts about school? Because that's a huge one in like my life. That's a huge one in a lot of people, young people in my life. So like, what is your opinion on it? Like, how do you view it?
Well, my generation, I was a Gen X guy, and so. It was very important. Everybody I went to high school with, went to college, and everybody focused on that. I didn't. I went a different route. Not to say I was stupid. I just knew there was a different way for me. Right. I mean, I think the funny thing when you look at college or school is that college is a shotgun. when you go to college, you take classes, and you do all these different things. But let's bring it to a reality. Let's bring something really real here. Let's say you like video gaming, right?
Right. I'll play video games. Yeah.
Okay. What if you went to get a degree in video games? Now, what would they teach you? They would teach you how video games are made, where they're made, the history of video games, and they teach you how to play, like, say, a dozen different video games. Mm-hmm. Now, when you graduate college, you have all this experience in all these different games, but if you were an expert in one game, you could be really good. You could be super good. Like, you're a Call of Duty guy, and man, I played Call of Duty for the last 4 years. I kick ass. Everybody wants me on their team. I mastered this thing. What's more valuable? The guy who can make money playing Call of Duty, who's really good, or the person that graduates college and just is good at all these different things. And I'm just going to be just like, I'll just throw it against the wall. I'll just shotgun it and I'll find a job. So it's different nowadays. I mean, people are more focused. We have more focused jobs out there that really have, they really take precedent of what can you do and what can you do well. I don't want somebody who's going to come in here and just like do a little bit of everything. I want somebody who comes in here and does this well.
Like an expert.
Whether it's coding, whether it's gaming, whether it's podcasts. I don't want somebody who knows a little bit of everything. I want somebody who knows this, and that's going to be success. So school's for some people because some people can't focus. They can't do that. They can't say, when I met you years ago, and you told me I love media, I love being like film studios, all this other stuff, and here we are 5-6 years later, and you're doing this. You have that focus. Where some people who go to college, they're just still not sure. They need 4 years to figure out, I don't know what I'm going to do. And the truth of it is, like, I'd say, I don't know, I'm just going to spitball it, but like 70-80% of the people who go to college, for whatever they have in their degree, after 10 years, they're not doing it anymore. Yes. So what was the point?
I see that all the time. Oh my God, yes. Yeah. That freaks me out.
Yeah.
4 years of this, and I'm not even like, oh my God, that freaks me out so much.
Yeah. I mean, think about teachers. I mean, how many people stick it out are teachers for 20 years, 30 years? I'm like, oh, it doesn't happen. People go, and, they get burned out, and they quit, and they do it. It's tough. So, you have to chase your passion, and you have to be focused. But not everybody's like that. So my point is that school is good for people who just want to be part of the society. Mm-hmm. And not going to school, if you want to succeed, you have to be focused. You have to say, this is my path. I want to do this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get there. And I'm not going to give up. But it's different types of people.
It's a lot of hard work too, man.
Oh, it's a lot of hard work. Yes, it is.
It's a lot of hard work. A lot of failures. A lot of
a lot of failures.
And like, how do you deal with failure? Like, what has failure done for you?
Failure is education. Failure is learning. And that's when we talk about focus. So if I'm going to focus on one thing and I'm going to be successful at this, I'm going to keep doing and learning everything I can about this. But as you learn more, you learn from other people and other things that are happening. If I say this is going to happen in oil is going to go $100, and then this guy who's super smart, he goes, no, it's going to 50. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it goes to 50. Then I have to look at what he said, why he said it, and how he looked at it, because I need to learn from that. So next time when it comes around and it's going up or down, I see all facets of it. I see my side, but I also see his side now. So failures are, it's part of learning. It's a part of growing and part of being more confident. What are you talking about, right? I mean, I can't tell you I'm right all the time, but I can tell you I'm going to give you my best shot. That's that's what you're going to do.
And like, to me, when I remember growing up, like, I messed up at something, or like I sucked at this, like I immediately would just like, done, like, like I'm done, like I'm done, I give up on that, right. And I was moving to the next thing, what I'm saying? But like this, like I failed at this so many times, and like I probably am gonna fail at this too, like right now, but like I don't know. To me, like, it's just, I feel like I found that niche. I found that thing that I might be semi good at, and let's just keep going with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I don't know. I don't know. There's that thing where I have a lot of friends who are just like, oh, like I don't know what to do with my life, and like I'm not really good at anything. I don't have any interest, And like, how do you find interest? Like as a kid, like how did you like get into what you were doing? Like, or how did you?
Yeah, that's tough. That's the tough one. But like those kids, probably are better off going to college because they get exposed to all these different things, right? For me, I guess for me, it was just a matter of opportunity. if I could tell you one thing about my life, you know, a lot of people go, "Oh man, you got really lucky here, you got lucky there," or I don't. I think after about maybe 10 years, I stopped saying lucky. I realized that I took advantage of opportunity. You know, when something happened, I said, "Hey, I can do that. I'm going to go do it." So when I was in banking in Chicago, I moved to New York after 9/11. You know, we lost 69 people in the first tower, and so here I am in New York. I never thought I'd go to New York. I never thought I'd live in Chicago. Once I got there, I was doing well, and then a client of mine, he was working with some other people at a different bank. All those people left the bank, so he said, "You should call them up, and you know, ask them what's going on over there, and maybe they need you."
Yeah.
I called up, got a better job, got an opportunity to be on TV and do more research, but I found the opportunity. I took advantage of it. From there, I went again to another bank. People left that bank. I called the bank up. I said, "Hey, yeah, I heard people left. You know, what can I do?" But you just have to chase the opportunity, wherever the opportunity may be. But you can't be afraid of failing, you know, because if I called them up and said, "No, we're not interested," then I never would have been there. But I did. You know, you never know. You never know what happens when you ask. You know.
Oh my God, yes.
You have to have the confidence to ask, though, right?
Yes.
I mean, think about this: when people go out, you know, a guy or girl, when you go out to a bar and you want to meet somebody, you're not going to meet anybody by sitting at the bar and staring at the TV screen. You're going to see somebody and you're going to say hi, and that's all it takes. Hello, hi, how are you? I'm not going to say, "Can I buy you a drink?" or "You're hot" or whatever. Just hello.
Yeah.
But you know how hard it is to say hello to somebody.
Oh
you
my
don't know.
God,
Right?
it's free. It's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying, and it's like it's crippling to some people. It freaking destroys them in the insides.
Yeah.
You know, but like I don't know, doing that. Oh my God, I've met some crazy people.
Of course, yes.
I've met some insane, like I've had some awesome experiences. I've met some beautiful people.
Right.
You know, and it just like it's so crazy how that thing just like boom.
Yeah.
And especially, "Hi, how are you?" That's another one.
Oh.
Cause like nobody be asking people like, "Hey,
Right.
how's it going?" You know, I talk about it like every time I like go to Walmart or like some type. I always ask cashier like how they doing. I have like a tiny little conversation with them, and like whenever you open that door to someone, oh my God, it's like they're pouring out everything that they're not able to pour it out to somebody, and it's almost therapeutic for some people, and even myself too. You know, because then I start talking about me, I start talking about my life, and it's like, and it's just, okay, cool. It's like, it's another way to release all that gunk and trash that's in your head, you know, that trash.
Yes. I mean, for me, when I was younger, I never had the confidence. I mean, I wasn't the best looking kid. I was mediocre at sports. I was good, but I wasn't great. And I just never had anything to lean on except I was good at math. But as I started, you know, getting out more, you know, working with more, you know, places and going to more places, I had my one line because it was like a safety line for me. It was not like hi or hello. I would ask women, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Big plans for the weekend?" And I did that as a friend. But here's the catch. I'd say, "Hey, big plans for the weekend," and they go, "Oh yeah, my boyfriend's taking me out. We're going to dinner this weekend. Where are you going?" "Oh, I've been to that restaurant. It's really good." Now all of a sudden I'm the nice guy. I'm the friend. But sometimes you ask, you know, a woman, you're like, "Hey, you know, big plans for the weekend?" "No, you know, my friends are out of town and I'm just not doing anything, but I want to go out, but nobody wants to go out." "Oh, hey, I want to go out this weekend. Do you want to go out this weekend?"
Everybody, y'all better start taking notes. Y'all take notes right now. This is advice. This is.
But it was that little confidence builder, right? I was afraid to just say, "Hey, do you want to go out this weekend?" Afraid of getting shot down. So I thought this way I could either be nice and a super nice guy and ask about what they're doing, or there's an opening where I could go, "Oh, hey, maybe you want to go out."
Yeah.
You know, but you know, at least you open it up. But you know, it's scary. It's scary to talk to people. It's scary to do anything, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And like, but the way I got out of that scaredness of it was just like, oh my God, I said some ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Sometimes I come off creepy. Oh my God, I've done some creepy shit before, man. I'm like, oh, like, why did I say that? You know?
Yes.
But after that, it's like, okay, don't do that. Don't do this. And now it's like, it's kind of like what I think of it. And this is what I think about the podcast too. It's like, but what I think of when you're doing that, it's like a paintbrush, and you ever like the first beginning of it is like, it's like really thick, and it's like that's the most colorful part. But you keep going, and it's like it starts fading off, and it's like little sparkles and stuff like that. Well, it's like that, but backwards.
Yes.
So that little sparkle stuff is, and then it becomes that paint, that really vibrant color.
Yes.
So that's how I see it. That's how I see this, and like that's how I see anything really. It's like it's just that sparkles, and then it comes to that thick, like colorful, vibrant person.
That confidence, yes.
Yeah.
That's all.
Confidence is
all,
key.
It's key for everything. You'll always be successful in life when you're confident in yourself and what you're doing. That's how it gets there.
God, man, it's so crazy. And it's like, it's nothing. It's so minuscule. It's the tiniest little adjustments. And boom, you're talking to, like, the girl of your dreams. You're talking to the most beautiful girl ever. And it's like how? Like, what did I do? You know? Like, I'm fugly, but I still did it. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, you know? And even this, like, doing this, like I've been talking to, like I have people lined up to come on, and they're talking about like what they do, and it's kind of cool because like people that I would have never spoken to like ever in my life, like now I'm cool and tight with them. You know, it's crazy. Like I've made more friends, you know, doing this and actually talking to people than like being on social media. You know, like social, like it was supposed to be that thing where like, hey, let's everybody, you know, we're all connected. Let's talk. Now you can talk to anybody, anywhere, which you can, right? But it's like at the same time, like I feel like for my generation and people that are like my age, it's like, oh my God, some of them are secluded. Like they're just like in their own little bubble, you know?
Yeah.
And it's sad to me sometimes to see it, you know? And I got friends that are like, man, I got no friends. Like all I do is like stick to myself and stuff like that, which is like cool. And there also is that hustle culture thing, whereas like you don't need friends to become successful. Like get rid of all that stuff and, you know, focus on you, which is cool. But, like, to me, like, I don't know. Like, I'd rather have friends.
Yes.
You know? Like, I'd rather be a social butterfly. Like, I'd rather have that than, like, be trapped in, like, my own thoughts by myself, like, all the time. You know? I couldn't imagine that.
Yes. Well, I mean, honestly, that's a lot of my success has been just making friends. I have clients. I have business colleagues. But I have friends. And I can always count on them for that. Because if, at the end of the day, that I can't get business from them or they don't have any business to give me, I still have a friend.
Right.
You know, and that's the most important thing. You know, it's just you build and build, and that's where opportunities come from. Because this person who's your friend all of a sudden says, "Hey, I've got an opportunity for you." You never knew. You know, I never knew.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't know. Friendship, that's a wild thing. It really is. You know, and like I got friends that like I've had since like we came out the womb, you know, and it's just cool that like they've like you watching people grow, you know, and it's like watching that stuff and like seeds, you know, like planting seeds, like planting a like let's say I never talked to you, I probably would have never got that job where like that was like the best job like I probably had ever had, you know, and it was just because you and I just talked, you know, and like I don't know, what do you like what's your like how do you like those seeds that we plant? And then that next year's harvest, like, okay, this is how we're gonna get to where we need to get. Like, what do you think about those seeds? Like, how do you start planting seeds like that? I mean, of course, you could talk to people. There's confidence, but like, what else goes into it after that?
Oh, so much hard work. So much hard work. I mean, you know, you're younger, but I have friends who I went to elementary school, high school, you know, and I don't talk to them anymore. Maybe I still keep in touch with them every once in a while, but it's hard because I have to reach out to them.
Right.
But if I really value that friendship, I have to reach out to them. So when you plant a seed, you have to stick with it. You have to keep watering it. You have to keep, you know, feeding it. You have to keep sunlight. You have to, you know, keep it warm when it's cold. You know, it's work. You know, but once it becomes a tree, you're like, oh no, I'll let it go. No, you have to trim. You have to trim the limbs. You have to keep, you know, the leaves from, you know, you have to make sure it's watered. It's work throughout the whole process. And some people just, you know, they don't want it to because, you know, they're like, oh, you know, I don't see the value in it anymore. But if you do, you have to work at it. It's a lot of work. It's work. You know, it's hard work. It may not be like laborious work, but you have to put forward effort, right? You reach out to me. You know, you said, hey, come to my podcast. You put the effort forth, right? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. This is going to be awesome. But you made it work. You made it work, right? So it's a, you know, it's a tough thing because a lot of times it ends up in friendships. Only one person's working and not the other one isn't, right? And
yes, and it's like I sometimes feel bad because I'm like, am I the only one like reaching out? Like, am I annoying? Like, am I bothering this dude? You know, like even with you, I felt that same way. Like, I feel like, man, like I'm bothering this guy. Like he's probably got a billion things going on, and like I don't know, like even like just talking to friends, stuff like that. Like I'm just like bugging him to come on here, you know. And, like sometimes it's all I talk about. Sometimes, you know, and I'm pretty sure people get fed up with that stuff. You know, I don't know what it is, but it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing being like, I don't know, being this way. And like that, I think that's why you and I clicked like immediately, because like, you know, it's just that it's a different state of mind, really, you know. And I'm not trying to like toot my own horn. I'm not trying to say like I'm better than anybody. It's just that like sometimes like you just gotta like think that, and you get places, you know. I don't know, but it's just also hard too, because like some people would probably twist that, and it's like you know, that narcissistic thinking, you know. And like I'm not gonna lie, I probably get a little narcissistic sometimes, but it's like I think we all are in a weird way, you know. Like I think we're all like a little racist in our weird way. We're all a little like prejudiced and, you know, stuff like that. And it's just crazy how like all these things, there's like a meat patty inside your head that's controlling all that stuff, and then you could change it. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. It blows my mind, like how insane, like, you know, how delicate too, like, you know, we all like, we often like also kind of make ourselves, I guess, we put ourselves in bad situations too. Like we do bad things to ourselves and we don't even know it, you know. And like, I don't know, how do you get out of that? Like how do you I guess whenever you acknowledge like, damn, like I'm fucking up, like what do you do after that?
I get angry first. To be quite honest, I do. I get very angry, but then, you know, I have to breathe, calm down, and then start thinking about how, okay, you know, what did I screw up? How did I screw it up? Now, most importantly, how do I fix it? So it's just, you know, it's a matter of just, you know, taking a step back and just like saying, okay, I screwed this up, but that's done. I screwed it up. I'm not going to change that, right? Like, you know, one of the things I learned younger when I was in my career, you know, my manager's like, you know, my boss was like, why did you do this? I'm like, you know, I was thinking this, I screwed up. And then, you know, she'd be like, well, you know not to do it again. I'm like, yeah, I know not to do it again. She's like, why'd you do it? I'm like, well, I was doing this. She's like, and you're not going to do it again? No. But I admitted I was wrong. I didn't make excuses. I admitted I was wrong. Because when you make a mistake...
admitting you're wrong is I hate that.
It's horrible. But when you make a mistake, you can't change it. You have to live with that, and you have to figure out how not to do it again and how to fix it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and like, I don't know, anger is another thing. And that's the one thing, that's a huge thing for me. That's a huge thing for a lot of other people that I know. And it's just, especially like, you know, and like my little community that we have, it's just like anger, like, I don't know, how do you conquer that beast?
Oh.
You know, because that's a beast.
It is a beast. You know, I think not sitting, you got to get up, walk around, take a lot of deep breaths, and just, you know, slow down. I think that's the way I try to do it. I try to slow down, because in that moment when I'm angry, there's no slowing down. It's 0 to 100 right there, right? Once I'm at 100, I can't slow down.
Right.
But you have to just start taking steps back, slowly breathing through it, and just walking it out, and just going, okay, calm. But, you know, because when you're angry, you can't fix anything. All you're doing is just mad, and the world is just all red.
Everybody's against you.
Everybody's against you. And, you know, but, you know, no matter how old you are, no matter who you are, everybody goes through that. And it's just, you know, the thing that you need to learn is, like, find a way to kind of work your way through it. I mean, but it's tough. It's so tough.
It's tough. And it's like, there's that thing where it's like, oh, it'll go away and you'll be fine later on. But, like, that thing is going to be with you forever. Forever. And it's like, you know, the same thing with like depression and stuff like that, anxiety. I got friends that got all that stuff, and I get it, bro, but like, it ain't gonna go away,
right?
You know. And I talk to, you know, my elders and, you know, people like you and stuff like that, and it's like, you know, tell us now, like, is it gonna get better? Like, what is it? Like,
yeah, you know, I mean, it only gets better if you make it better. Nothing gets better because it happens. You have to make it happen. That's all. You know, There's nothing good in life. I mean, everything is a struggle in life. Everything's
Right.
hard. Everything's a challenge. Everything has obstacles. It's just, how do you get over them? How do you get through them? You have to think about it. We talked about video games. When you first play a video game, it's like, oh, this is so frustrating. You're like, you're getting killed in like the first 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Right.
But then the more you work through it, the more you think through it, the more you get around it. Next thing you know, you're playing for 3 hours, and you're just like, oh man, I'm great at this. But that first time you play, it's just frustrating. How do I get through this? They didn't make this game to fail. They didn't, right?
Right.
But you have to keep persevering. You have to keep finding ways to get to that end goal.
I appreciate that. Those are wise words. Those are wise words. I love talking to you because, like, God, like, I always feel like I'm a better man, like, after, like, I talk to you. Like, it's just, like, it puts me through, like, another, like, level of, like, even this, like, it's just, it might have been small, we only, like, talked for a few minutes, but it's just, like, man, like, you learn so much in that, and...
But it's reciprocated. I feel good when you tell me that, and I feel like I did something good. I'm like, wow, I didn't know I did something good, but now it makes me feel good. Now the next person comes along, I can feel confident. So thinking, I do make people feel good. Somebody told me that, so now I know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to me too. I do.
Yeah, and it's dope because, like, I don't know. It just sometimes, like, to me, like, I was too cool for that stuff, or I was too angry for some of these things, And if I would have kept that, like, I would have never allowed some ideas into my mind, And
Right.
like, to me, like, you unlocked that for me, like, 100%. And it's cool because, like, it's something small. It really is. But, like, what you told me for, like, today, I'm going to implement it into my life, like, now, And it's cool because, like, hopefully someday somebody watches this video and they're just like, oh, crap. I'm going to start doing that with how they do it, And, like, that's what I want. Like, this is exactly what I'm trying to capture. It's just, like, that brief little moment that's just going to, like...
Right.
Switch it, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, this is fun. This was good.
It was good. Thank you so much.
This is really good. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
It was awesome, and like, I gotta have you on more too.
I'll be here.
Yeah, you gotta critique my stuff too, because I'm trying to just get better and better, but like, I need help from a pro at the same time. Yeah.
You are much more professional than I've ever been in this side. I mean, I've always been on this side of it. You're definitely good on that side. That's for sure. I'm like, this is amazing.
Cool. I appreciate that. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't ever close them out, like, anyway. I'm just like, bye.
It's always hard. You're like awkward. Like, okay, well.
Yeah, just like cutting it off and stuff like that. But no, this is cool.
Well, it was good. I thank you for having me, and we'll definitely do it again. I had a lot of fun.
Awesome. All right. Cool.
Yo. On that.